There's a lot of things that make up the feel of an area. We can point to certain things and say, oh, it's really nice that we have farmland here, and we think of that as being this aspect of the North Fork. I think the dark sky is a part of that, and it's often something that we don't consider right away. That peace and that can come with a dark sky is something that's so integral to the character of the North Fork. Being able to look up and actually see the Milky Way is something that most areas don't have access to, and it's just one more thing, like the bay, like the sound, like all of the open space that we're so privileged to have. Starting to become aware of those things increases the importance of protecting it.
I believe it was Mary Eisenstein had this idea because they were out in their backyard in Mattituck looking at the Milky Way, and it occurred to her that, you know, this is something that Mattituck or the North Fork could do, is if we could control the light pollution, it could become, you know, sort of an asset to the North Fork, having a dark sky. So maybe people don't come out here just for the wineries and the breweries and the partying, that they come out here because we're a preserved area that, you know, you can still enjoy nature, you know, day and night. And so it's not just, you know, because of stargazers. A lot of people get thinking that the light pollution thing is just for people that have this unusual hobby. Since the beginning of mankind, people have been looking up into the sky and drawing wonder and knowledge from it. It makes you kind of reflect on where you are in the universe. I think it's a source of grounding and peace, you know, that you know, if we lose that, I think it would have a very detrimental effect.
At night when I'm looking at the stars, I'm also thinking of wildlife. I'm even thinking about my farm, because moths and other nocturnal pollinators, they're pollinating my strawberries and my red raspberries and apples.
As an area that is so heavily focused on agriculture, protecting the ability of these nighttime pollinators to do their job is crucial. So it's not just honeybees, it's many species of moth and other insects that are active primarily at night. Light at night actually disrupts migration. So birds can get caught up in the light essentially. It happens even more so in urbanized areas, but millions of birds every year die on migration because they migrate during the night and they use the stars actually for a point of navigation.
LED lights are marketed as environmentally friendly because they use less energy. But because of that, more people are putting lights up where they're not needed. In addition to that, most LED lights that are sold are very, very blue. They're very high in Kelvin, which is really blue daylight. Red, orange, and yellow light have really long wavelengths, and those wavelengths or light colors are actually less visible to bugs. So, if you don't want bugs in your house, put an amber light up. So then when you open your front door, you're not a super highway for bugs to go in.
We're not saying that light itself is a problem. Properly shielded light facing downward to where people are walking or your front door or whatever don't cause light pollution. And I think that's the education we're trying to put out there, is that we're not telling people to get rid of their lights, we're telling them to use the lights smartly, you know, to do it in a way that doesn't make it go into the sky.
There are so many violations throughout the entire town, and we are so fortunate to have Custer Institute right down the road. People come across the nation and actually internationally just to go to Custer Institute to study the stars. And to protect that resource is really important.
My father is an amateur telescope maker, and he built the 10-inch binocular telescope that we have out in our outbuilding on display. He used to drag me out here, you know, on weekends, and so I've been involved with astronomy my entire life. It's naturally fitting that, you know, our organization would be a partner in the coalition in order to protect the skies from light pollution, since it does affect our ability to, you know, to look out into the universe.
Naked eye, you can easily see the Milky Way, some star clusters like, you know, the Pleiades and the Wild Duck cluster, and there's a couple you can see naked eye. And then when you move up to like binoculars, you can start getting into pretty much everything else, nebula and galaxies and comets, and, you know, meteors are nice naked eye things here. We do a Perseid meteor shower happens, and we sometimes do something for that out on the lawn, and people show up with lounge chairs and blankets, and they watch, you know, shooting stars all night.
When I was a kid, I used to easily be able to see the Milky Way galaxy from, you know, even my home. You know, I still live in the same house that I grew up in, and now you really can't see much of anything. You know, I can see the planets in the sky, but that's, you know, that's about it. So I mean, that there's a lot that has changed. We're lucky to have this space be in a town that appreciates the importance of the dark skies and the effects that light pollution can have.
The dark sky is an often overlooked natural resource, and we take it for granted. 2021 was really our year for education. We did a great mailing, put together a fabulous website that has a lot of great resources on it. And now for 2022, it's really all about action. So we're doing a lot of talks at civic groups and really trying to get the word out there. A lot of people were unaware that there was this town code, and they thought that the lights were just annoying to them. The science is there, the law is there, and the will is there. And it's just a matter of doing something about it.